Sir, welcome.
Well, thank you.
I'm very happy to make a dialogue with you about the environment. Actually, environment is a very big subject, and as you know, the United Nations directed all governments, all countries to follow the SDG. Say there are 17 goals about sustainable development. Then they have articulated 169 objectives and again 368 indicators also. Then you are leading Marathwada, not only Marathwada but Maharashtra, not only Maharashtra but all India, because you form the environmental cluster in our Marathwada city. Then you have taken the project like Aurangabad First. You have registered it and you directing this Aurangabad First project in all aspects. For all elements are getting involved here, and you are interacting with them, all public representatives, local bodies and government authorities, agencies, where different kind of institutes, and it is a very good job. It is I relate that job to directly SDG. Means our central government are doing efforts about that SDG in all department, agriculture, environmental, health, education and all other concerned department. Now I want to introduce you Apratim Media also, because we are journalists. We always write critics on the what government is doing, what leaders are doing, what industrialists are doing, and there is no communication, only corruption is there, because corruption is also indicator of the sustainable development goal. It is a one point, but we do not want any dialogue about that. We want to a very fair dialogue about the growth or development of the environmental rules and regulation. Then you have done so much work in Aurangabad. Recently, I have planned a very action plan for the garbage, and you activated all machinery very fantastically. Now I ask you, let us introduce our Aurangabad First in your own word.
See, Marathwada Environmental Care Cluster is a Section 8 company formed by a few industries who came together initially to develop green Waluj. Waluj is the MIDC area, and we thought that the MIDC area needs a lot of greening, because on one hand in industry we are also creating a lot of pollutants. We try to treat them with technology, but the nature is the best technology to treat any pollution. So we thought that we must green, and therefore we took up greening of both the sides of roads in MIDC area. And in first 1 or 1.5 year, the industries all put together invested close to 8 crore rupees in developing both sides of the road with standardized fencing, standardized plantation, and industries have accepted individual responsibility of upkeep of this greening. So now whenever anyone visits Waluj industrial area, they will see a lot of well-developed gardens along the roads. That was our first initiative as MECC. Then we thought that why not actually enlarge the scope of MECC and undertake development in the city. The city faces many such hurdles. Treatment of solid waste, treatment of sewage, handling of traffic, development issues. There are many challenges in front of city, and many agencies were separately trying to do something in that area. So there was a small NGO planting trees. There was a small initiative for cleaning up of gutters. There was a small initiative of the NGOs like Lions Club or Rotary Club for handling solid waste. Now, all these efforts, though they were happening, no impact was felt because they were all fragmented efforts. everybody was doing something different at a different level, and the city could not see the impact of all these developments. So we thought that we must unite and we must take one single initiative which will be seen as city's initiative for sustainable development and sustainable growth, making impact on all environmental issues. So Aurangabad First is an initiative of Marathwada Environmental Care Cluster, under which now we have more than 150 members coming from all walks of life. There are advocates, doctors, lawyers, industrialists, then social workers, hoteliers. I mean, you name a field and we have someone representing that field in these 150 people. And we sit together. So we started interacting with the government agencies, the divisional commissioner, the collector, the municipal commissioner, the mayor, the MP, MLAs, taking them into confidence that this is an initiative not to actually criticize what the government is doing or where the government is failing, whether state government or local self-government. This is an initiative so that we can come together to ensure that whatever initiatives are being taken become successful. They become meaningful, they become successful, and whatever the government efforts the government is spending, actually every rupee counts like it was 10 rupees. So that's the basic idea behind Aurangabad First. So we initially took up issues like solid waste management of Aurangabad city because that was a burning issue then. We are trying to promote technologies that are sustainable technologies, that are cost-effective technologies, where there would not be any byproducts that are toxic. So there is no sludge handling, there is no disposal issues on water that comes out of it. We are trying to actually create these kind of initiatives and create awareness amongst the government that okay, there are some technologies where the investments are huge, which have been approved by various government agencies as approved technologies. But there are other technologies which are relevant to our country, which have been developed by small people. They are based on sustainable principles. They may not be approved by the IITs and IIMs and the labs, but these are certainly useful. Where the capital investment is minimum, the output is actually much better than what the approved technologies can give. We are working with various agencies to make sure that more such technologies are used by the government agencies so that we achieve these goals of sustainable development. Otherwise, using the old technologies, though they solve one problem, they create two other problems.
Exactly.
Whereas these technologies which are based on nature, I mean learning from the nature and then actually concentrating the efforts of nature and enhancing the efforts of nature or biological degradations, we actually create no side effects, we actually create no toxic waste, and we are able to tackle these problems far more economically. I think to some extent we have been able to convince. We have treated almost 5,000 tons of garbage at Central Naka in Aurangabad. And all the foul smell, all the issues related to mosquitoes, flies have been resolved through our intervention, and it hasn't cost much. I mean, for treating 5,000 tons of garbage in situ without much of mechanical interventions, through biological degradation, through biotechnology products, the total cost was less than 20-25 lakhs, which is something which actually needs to be adopted by majority of the agencies for treating all the waste that we generate.
It is the best lesson for the corporation also. We hope they will follow all these things because corporation means a matter of critics only. But your initiative is excellent and you are doing very well. It is very fine. Now I ask you about the state government and central government. The departments are there. The guardian minister, environmental department, and all other, these are authority after all. Then you have formed this venture, is social venture, we can say it social venture, that environmental cluster and Aurangabad First. Then how you feel about the response from these elements like state government and this local government also? How you describe that?
See, I would say that the idea that you spend less to do more is something that the government was not really used to. Most of the government achievements are measured in terms of how much budget they have allocated and how much they have spent. There is hardly any audit of the results, and most of the governments are evaluated based on the spending, not on the actual impact of that spending. There is a new awareness coming in the government where they are now starting to monitor results rather than the budgets and the spend. For the government, it would be very ideal to adopt these newer technologies which are relevant technologies for a tropical country like ours. Biotechnology based solutions that are on the offer, developed by small entrepreneurs, not necessarily by the IITs, not necessarily by the labs that the government has. These are developed by small entrepreneurs, but they are relevant technologies, and if we are able to scale them up so that instead of treating say 10,000 liters of sewage in a small plant, if we are able to handle 10 million liters of sewage every day with the same technologies, then I am sure the government would land up using their budgets, using the revenues that they generate in a far better way with much better impacts. The realization is coming, but government is a huge machinery, and who will bail the cat is one of the questions that always is asked by the government. They said, if we adopt this technology and tomorrow if it fails, then who is responsible?
Who is responsible?
Actually, if you look at all the spending that government has done in past 70 years, there are n number of examples where government has invested hundreds of crores of rupees and they have failed miserably. No one asks question about those technologies because they have been certified by someone sitting in Europe or someone sitting in America. So there is a fallback saying that, oh, this is a European technology. It failed. We are not responsible. We chose the best. Now you need to understand that you have to also take that responsibility that we chose what was appropriate. And if it fails, that's fine. I mean, technology is supported by all the so-called experts have failed miserably. Why not give chance to these newer technologies? And I am sure these technologies will not fail. Not fail.
On which scenario you have just told me, and that's why your work is very valuable, and it is a very good example for the all citizens. Now I ask you, you commented on the response from the government agency. Now I want to ask you about the response from the citizens. What you do for the citizen engagement or public participation in this your project?
See, we, as I said, we have actually enlisted people from various walks of life, and therefore our acceptability by those segments is much better. Had it been only industries, then the lawyers would think that, oh, this is an industries initiative. Then the doctors would think that this is an industries initiative. The educational institutes would think that, oh, this is an industry initiative. But we have amongst us representatives of educational institutions, teachers, lecturers. So across the society, all the cross sections, the acceptability is very good. But 1.5 year is a very small time
period
for actually creating a major impact. I would say that whoever has come in our contact and whoever has seen what we are doing are convinced that we are on right path, and they are willing to actually cooperate with us, take some responsibilities, and actually replicate these efforts in various areas. So Aurangabad First is actually expanding. It is growing, but we are still at very early stage of our growth.
Now, it is a very good sign for the development, we think. Then even the small countries, Norway or all other countries, you have already visited to all these countries. And when you compare that country's mindset and our mindset, how you compare? About these goals.
Basically, what has happened is in the developed countries, there is no struggle for day-to-day living.
Correct.
I mean, majority of their population is well off. They are well provided for, and there is no struggle. They don't come from a mindset of scarcity. They come from mindset of plenty. And therefore they have more patience, they have more acceptance of new ideas, and they know that if there is something to be lost in trying out this new idea, it would not be a major burden on them. Not major burden on the individuals, not major burden on the government agencies. So they are more open. Whereas in our country, people still are struggling. Majority of the people are still struggling for their day-to-day existence. And we come from a mindset of scarcity. I mean, 20 years back, there was a food scarcity, there was a milk scarcity, there was scarcity of all sorts. In last 20 years, things have changed substantially. And now there is no food scarcity, there is no edible oil scarcity, there is no scarcity. Whoever wants to buy whatever is available readily, is easily available. But our mindset has still not accepted this.
Godowns are full.
So the day our society accepts this mindset, and the day our struggles reduce, and they will reduce if we use appropriate technologies. Because we are not using appropriate technologies, there are a lot of struggles. Once we actually reduce these struggles, and once people see that by adopting these newer technologies, their struggles actually go down, their impact is far better. I am sure the difference that we feel between developed countries and our country would slowly be reduced, and a day would soon come when our society would be as law abiding and as ready to accept newer technologies as we find it in the developed world.
Comparatively, they are citizens of the developed countries are aware about the not only rights but responsibilities also. And our mindset is very different. But whatever you form this Aurangabad First, and you have given that rules and regulation also, it is a very fine. And next, my question is to you. You are involved in our smart city project also. Then tell about that.
See, the concept of smart city is a city that is that takes off burden of managing the city greatly from people to systems and technology. To me, that is smart city. Any city where it is not individuals who are responsible to run it, it is the systems and technology which make sure that individuals' burden of running the city is reduced to a great extent. Converting an old city into a smart city is a big challenge. Setting up a new smart city, a greenfield project where nothing exists, you can create a smart city very easily. But if you have to transform an old city to a smart city, then it is going to take minimum 20-25 years and a lot of investment into changing the mindset of people and then creating infrastructure. I am putting it in the right perspective. First changing of mindset and then putting right infrastructure. Because if you put in right infrastructure and people's mindset is not good, that infrastructure will be vandalized. People would actually destroy that infrastructure, saying that it comes in our way of life. So when people are ready to change way of life and they start changing the way of life, put new infrastructure which helps them to do that change faster. But without change in mindset, if you put infrastructure, then it becomes a hurdle, and then people would like to actually take it out of their way. So we are trying to convince people to change their thinking, change their way of life, and accept the new ways where ultimately the burden of living in that city would be reduced, so that the city becomes far more livable and enjoyable.
Sir, my last question is to you. Scheme Smart City is a very fantastic scheme. Then Clean India is very fantastic. There are so many catchy, there is attraction in the name and projection by the central government or local bodies. They display everywhere boards and presentation. Everything is happening very smartly in that course. Then what you suggest about that? I'm asking because you are emphasizing on the mindset, changing mindset. So what you suggest for the young generation to how to give response to these schemes of the government or local bodies or like any venture like yours?
See, when the government spends money, they would like to have some measurable, tangible things done out of that money, so that they feel that they can then control the expenditure or at least monitor the expenditure. So therefore, putting up 100 hoardings is a measurable thing. But whether those 100 hoardings have served the purpose of mindset change, that's not measurable. That's not measurable in the short run. Actually, this idea of measuring everything that the government does in terms of tangible things is something that the government will have to give up, at least in few areas. By measuring things, are we utilizing our budgets very efficiently and effectively? The answer is no. So what is the use of measuring? If it is not useful, then why are we sticking to measuring it? Can we not allocate budgets to something that is not measurable? Something that cannot be measured in terms of results in a short run. So if this year's budget has been spent, we put up 100 hoardings. Instead of that, if you give that budget for mindset change, maybe 5 years down the line, you will start seeing results. Results that still will not be measurable in terms of the government spend, that the way they are measuring it. But the mindset change will then actually can be measured by reduced budgets, by reduced risks. Those are measurable. So mindset change will actually lead to that. More adherence to law, so less lawlessness. So now that can be measured. So for maybe first 5-10 years, the government will have to allocate budgets to things that are not tangible, that are not measurable, and not bother about whether the budget has been really spent effectively, because the effect will be seen only after 5 years. So that's my suggestion to the government.
Now, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice meeting.
Thank you.